for the national anthem.
You may be seated. It is my privilege to welcome you to Augusta High School Commencement. Seated in front of me, I'd like to introduce the board members and administrators. They include Bob McCullough, President, Bill Rinkabaugh, Jim Brown, Andy Cant, Carrie Lee, and Larry Winter. Also, administrators seated up front include Holly Francis and Matt Ward. At this time, I'd like to turn the program over to High School Principal Donna Czar.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2019 Augusta High School Commencement Ceremony. It is a great honor and privilege to be here today to recognize these outstanding students. A big thank you to the teachers, parents, family, friends, and community who have played a part in these students' lives and helping them to see the value of completing their high school education. May they continue to live on with the expectations set for them. At this time, I would like to recognize those students who completed the Kansas Scholars Curriculum. These students complete this rigorous curriculum and maintain a 3.0 or higher grade point average throughout their high school. These students wear the orange stole and are noted in the program. Would the students who completed the Kansas Scholars Curriculum please stand at this time? Congratulations to these students. Today we have a special recognition in our graduation ceremony. The Butler Early College Academy offers an opportunity for students to integrate the last 2 years of high school and the first 2 years of college. This year we have 9 graduates that participated in the academies over the past 2 years. They are not only graduating with their high school diploma today, but on Friday they graduated from Butler Community College with an associate's degree. The following students can stand and be recognized: Ashley Small, Business; Taylor Ames, Engineering; Briggs Irwin, Engineering; Jackie Bogner, Health Science; Cassidy Drescher, Health Science; Karen Castillo, Health Science; Courtney Kellogg, Health Science; Zariah Harrington, Health Science; Jaden Robert, Health Science. Congratulations to these fine students. Now it is my pleasure to recognize the 2019 Valedictorians. They may all come forward at this time. To earn the title of Valedictorian, Augusta High School students must maintain a grade point average of 4.0 throughout all 8 semesters of their high school years and complete the Kansas Scholars Curriculum. The graduating class of 2019 will recognize 7 students with the honor of Valedictorian. These students are Gabriel Fox, Mackenzie Kirk, Lindsay Llewellyn, Noah Oatska, Catherine Rockers, Presley Williams, Sadie Williams. The senior choir will perform next. We will now hear from the valedictorians as they speak on behalf of their class.
Failure can be described as a lack of success in doing or achieving something. A lack of success can come in many times throughout our journey, but for many of us graduating today, school was an aspect of our lives we occasionally had a lack of success in. Failure is different for everyone. It comes in the form of Mr. Hallmark walking to your lab table to watch you light the Bunsen burner after you've had your partner do it every time because you can never seem to get it to spark. It also comes in the form of waking up in the morning, realizing you forgot to turn in that assignment on Canvas by 11:59 last night. No matter what we have failed to do, we always end up doing the same thing. We carry on. If all we can think about that day is how we did not turn our assignment in on time, and we can't focus on anything else, we aren't allowing ourselves to use that day as the first day to make a change. If we are stuck on how we have failed in the past, we aren't allowing ourselves to move on. So we solve our issue the best we can and carry on. When you look at the first question on your history test and look up at your teacher thinking to yourself, I saw this on the study guide but simply can't remember which year this happened, you don't have much choice but to carry on. If you stick on that one question too long, you will eventually run out of time to do the rest and end up doing worse than you should have. During my sophomore year at AHS, I walked into Mr. Schwinn's Algebra 2 class to take a quiz and realized I hadn't memorized the quadratic formula, which was necessary for pretty much all the questions on the test. So the only thing left to do was take my best guess at the quadratic formula and hope I got a couple questions right. Safe to say, my homemade quadratic formula didn't quite do the trick. But what did the trick was my failure. I knew I had failed in that moment, and I also knew I would never let that happen again. My whole class memorized the quadratic formula so well that the majority of us could probably still recite it today. I realized in that moment the failure was all my fault, but there was a lesson to learn from it. I could not change that quiz score, but I could prepare enough to ensure my next quiz score was better. Whether it was an insufficient grade on your English test, or you didn't run the mile in under 10 minutes that Wednesday in gym, there was always something bigger in store that day, week, or month. Throughout high school, we have all had our failures, big or small, but we have chosen to grow from our failures, which is what has brought us here today. To the class of 2019, my name is Catherine Rockers, and I have failed, but I've learned to carry on.
In my experience, sports were a way to burn off steam from the school day. They took my mind away from the classes I was struggling with, the tests that I was worried about, and homework I didn't understand. So not only have we learned from failure in the classroom, but we have learned from failure in sports. Whether you are playing football for Coach Philbeck, volleyball for Coach Hallmark, basketball for Coach Sims or Malloy, wrestling for Coach Terry, softball for Coach Van Dever. Every coach expects something from us as players, and there are times we have let them and our teammates down. I have played 3 sports while at Augusta High School, but I only played volleyball as a senior because it was the only game I loved. Volleyball is a game of who can make fewer errors because the other team gets a point for your mistakes, and it may seem easy to keep the ball off the ground on such a small court, but it's not. On the other hand, softball is a game that if you get a hit 3 out of 10 times, that's a really good batting average. That means 70% of the times you are up to bat, you fail in some way. So in sports, and as in life, you make mistakes, you fail, you let others down. Failing in life does not define you, but whether you bounce back or give up after a failure is what defines you. We did a drill in volleyball. Sorry if this doesn't sound right, Coach Hallmark, is probably just how I did it, where I was literally throwing my body on the ground to dig a ball, then getting right back up to do it again. The drill made me tired, and I never wanted to get back up when I hit the floor. But I knew there was a reason for my pain and lack of breath. Coach Hallmark had greater reasons for a lot of things we didn't practice, mostly conditioning, but it was also to train a stronger mindset, whether it be for volleyball or for life. I was not a perfect volleyball player in any sense, but the game taught me many lessons. The most important lesson I learned was perseverance. Perseverance is defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary as continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. No matter how many times you fall, how many ones you get on serve receive balls, how many wide open layups you miss, or how many strikeouts you have, always persevere and get back up to go again. To the class of 2019, my name is Mackenzie Kirk, and I have failed, but I have learned to persevere.
As all of us know, everyone procrastinates, whether it's occasional or every day. As for me, I used to be a habitual procrastinator. One of many examples of this is when I failed to turn in about 6 lab reports in advanced chemistry. I would wait to do the lab reports late the night before and forget to fully submit it online. Also, I never checked to see if it was submitted because I turned it in too late. Eventually, after many accounts of my failures due to procrastination, I learned how detrimental procrastination can be. We cannot rely on procrastination because it eventually leads to failure and loss of potential. That leads me to my next point, potential. Everyone has so much potential, whether we realize it or not. However, each individual must find and see their own potential. I'm proud to be a part of the class of 2019. We have many high-achieving individuals that work hard and have amazing plans for their future, which is why we shouldn't focus on the failures or negatives of life. We need to stay strong and learn from life and the hardships we face. This is a time in our lives that really matters and paves the way for our success in the future. So while everyone needs to have fun, we cannot let the distractions of the present detour us from the greatness that work hard gives in the long run. Don't be short-sighted. See your potential. Do not settle for less, and pursue your dreams. To the class of 2019, my name is Noah Otska, and I have failed, but I learned the importance of time management and using my failures as a tool for success.
From this day onward, we are no longer high school students. Instead, we are college freshmen, service members, apprentices, and employees. These roles are our future, something many of us have been planning, discussing, and striving towards for a decade. Unfortunately, no matter how much planning we have done, things will change. In the near future, there will be disappointments, our first failed test, first lost assignment, or our first botched job. On the other hand, we will also encounter many successes. Our first real paycheck, first house, college graduation, growing families, and much, much more. But to achieve and reach our goals, we must work through failures and not be afraid to do so. As Winston Churchill once said, success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. I myself have experienced failures during my first difficult college class, Calculus 1. At first, I did not think the material was going to be overly difficult, but then I received a B on my first test and died a little on the inside. From now, this might not seem like a big failure to most, but to me, this was a significant situation. I could not be an engineer without a complete and total understanding of calculus, and Calc 1 is supposed to be the easy one. So after I received this test score and panicked for about 5 minutes, I emailed my professor, reviewed the material again, and learned that I was going to have to do a little bit more studying to ace this class. From that point on, I did my homework surrounded by my textbook, Slater, Symbolab, and a friend on speed dial. With continued efforts, my test scores rose, and by the end of the semester, my professor knew me by name
and watched me fly through the final in 28 minutes. I received a 100% on that final, something I did not think was possible. I did it by altering my approach to a hard situation rather than dropping the class and changing my major. You see, we cannot quit and we cannot go back. The high school does not want us anymore. In fact, no one wants a quitter. If you quit college, you will not go back anytime soon, and it will cost a lot more to do so. If you quit a job, you are just going to have to find another one so you can pay the bills. Instead, we must work harder, better, and smarter. We must fight our battles for what is right, what we believe in, and who we love. We must leave our own legacies as no one can do it for us. We can and will do amazing things in the future, but not without failures along the way. To the class of 2019, my name is Lindsay Llewellyn, and I have failed, but I have a bright future because of it.
In a few short moments, we will all walk up on this stage, get our diplomas in decorative folders, sans diplomas, of course, because they need some way to control us. And by almost any definition, take the last steps of our childhood. Life, real life, starts now. Now that we're not kids anymore, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. You've all already failed by entrusting me with leadership at this high school. But I guess, at least now, I get to talk about easily the most fun topic, all of the ways that I suck as a leader. When I was a freshman, I had this notebook where I brainstormed all the amazing things I was going to do while I was in high school. In my head, everyone cared as much about Augusta High School and was as passionate about changing it as I am. But in reality, as all of you guys know, they just aren't. This lack of support slowly drained me of all of the excitement and ambition I'd mustered up prior to high school, and eventually, I just gave up. I'm a dreamer to a fault, you all know that. But honestly, I don't remember the last time I really sat down and thought of changing anything at the high school. Until about 2 weeks ago when Mr. Schwinn asked me what needs to be fixed. I was simultaneously so excited that someone, a faculty member especially, wanted to change things at AHS, but also so angry because I was never going to be able to see our high school to be what I always knew it could be. I just felt honestly taken advantage of. No one cared about what freshman me had to say, but as a senior, suddenly now my opinion was valid. And then I took a couple deep breaths and realized my opinion matters now. Time control isn't within my wheelhouse, but solving problems and visualizing a seemingly unattainable future is essentially my purpose here on Earth. So, I gave up giving up. Good leaders seize an opportunity when it arises, regardless of their personal gain. As a leader, and each of you is in your own unique way, we all will fail others just as others fail us. But for me, every hurdle, every stumble, and every complete and utter wipeout, and there's been plenty, has been worth it to get to where I am today, in front of all of you, saying my final farewell. To my class of 2019, my name is Sadie Williams, and I have failed, but I refuse to stay a failure.
As you can see, we have all had moments where we have failed, be it in school, sports, time management, or leadership alike. In this way, we are seemingly just like everyone else. I myself carried a 59% quiz average in advanced chemistry. I have gone 4 and 13 in a season of varsity wrestling. I have finished multiple 8-page papers the night before or morning they were due. And I have failed to attend roughly a third of all Stuco meetings despite being the class vice president, or at least I think I was. Most recently, I have gotten 2 tickets in the same week. If there's anyone up here worthy of talking about the ways in which they have failed, it's me. From these numerous failures, I have learned the most important part of failing is accepting the failure and becoming someone new because of it. To merely accept failure and not learn anything as a result is to follow the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting different results. Today, I can promise that this generation is not insane. We're the next inventors and innovators, athletes and astronauts. Through failure, each one of us can find our own narrow pathway to the broad, general destination of success. Being successful is not hard to become so long as we never stop carrying on, persevering, and never, ever giving up. As a class, we can be wildly, astoundingly successful and accomplish things not dreamt about by prior generations, but not without failing many times along the way. To the class of 2019, my name is Gabe Fox, and I've failed many, many times, but we will be successful.
I would like to invite Mr. Bob McCullough, USD 402 Board of Education President, to address the seniors.
On behalf of the USD 402 Board of Education, I would like to welcome the family and friends who are with us today. And a special welcome to our honored guest, the AHS class of 2019. Also to a special thanks to our outstanding group of instructors, staff instructors, and administrators for a job well done. We thank you. It's great to see so many parents here today. Parents are your greatest support. They will be there when you need them the most. Stan Rogers once said, "Parents should tell kids, 'We are proud of you, and just remember, we have supported you, we have given you encouragement, love, money, and someday you will have to turn around and take care of us. So get a great job and marry money.'" Yeah. Another one I want you to think about as you leave today, you know, the senior, after they leave today, it's never going to be the same. One of the things that you need to think about is, I said this about 3 or 4 years ago, and I had somebody come and tell me about it afterwards. One of the clues that I can give you is when you're gone, when you're away from the nest, when you're away from home, when you're at college, whether you're in the Army, whether you're in a job somewhere, or you're in outer Slobovia looking for a way out, don't forget to do something. Don't forget to call Mom. Okay? Don't forget to call Mom. Every time I talk about Mom, it's hard for me not to think about my mother. She's 103 years old. Yeah. That should be a cheer in itself. Yeah. I've got a better one for you. I'm her only son. Yeah. Yeah, bless her heart. I usually get to talk to my mom on a daily basis. She celebrated her birthday this last March, and her request that she wanted to go to a Wichita State basketball game, so we took her over to one of the games that they had at the end of the year that was won in the last seconds. She's hard of hearing, and she kept saying, "What is all the excitement about?" Anyway, she loves to play bingo, and she loves prizes, but the one thing she really likes to do most is she likes to read the Wichita Eagle. and keep up with news. And what that leads to is when you talked with her, she always has these tidbits that she'd like to share. So as we were talking with her yesterday, she said, the graduation thing is tomorrow. You're going to tell these seniors something. I got a couple of tidbits I want you to share with these seniors. And how do you turn down 103? I said, okay, let's have them. The first one is very simple: live and let live. And the second one, take your life one day at a time. Now, if you figure 365 days and multiply that times 103, you're going to come up to approximately 37,600 days that she has been on this earth. So when she starts talking tidbits to me and those kinds of things and those stories, I usually listen. But let's talk about the graduates, because that's what we're here about. You're preparing for life. When you wake up tomorrow, things are going to be a lot different than they were today when you woke up. You're going to have to stop acting like life is a rehearsal, because it's no longer a rehearsal. It's for real starting tomorrow. The past is over and gone, and your future has no guarantee. I suggest to you, though, that one of the things you need to do most is wherever you're at, as your fellow Vals spoke, whatever you're doing, you need to be present. You need to be with it. You need to be on the job doing what you need to be doing, whatever that job is. You're not going to have anybody telling you, you got to get up, you got to go to school, you got to read the book, you got to do this, you got to do that. After tomorrow, there's nobody telling you any of that stuff. You have to be prepared. You got to make some choices. You have to make some choices. You can't turn around. You can't look for help from somebody else. You're the one who's got to make those choices. You have to be accountable. You have to learn to ask questions. You have to learn to communicate. You have to take time to listen. A real important trait that you should concentrate on. One that I always like is forgive, but don't forget. Another, enjoy the moment. Each day is a gift. Never stop learning. Each day you can discover something new. Be grateful. Never forget those who were there for you. I want to look around today, because some of these people you might never see again. The past and the future are only in your mind, but it never hurts to dream. Believe in yourself. There is no limit in what you can do. Good luck in the future. May you have successes, and may you return someday to this very spot and hopefully be allowed to address the future students at AHS. And don't forget, call Mom. Thank you.
To the class of 2019, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and the students of Augusta High School, I want to congratulate you on this fine accomplishment today. This was not an easy task. There were many tears shed, heartaches, frustrations, senior project meltdowns, detentions, and suspensions served, and a lot of other methods of getting this challenging mission accomplished. 37 students have completed the Kansas Honors Curriculum, 43 are members of the National Honor Society, and the scholarships this class has been awarded is many $1,000s. They are very involved in clubs, sports, music, theater, art, debate, forensics. Every activity we have at AHS, there are members of this class in it. I have grown to know most of these students on a personal level. Several of them have been to my house to eat and steal my Wi-Fi password. Some have set off homemade sparkler bombs in my neighborhood, and numerous have made trips to eat at Imps with Cade. The students in this class have a variety of talents and skills. They have an assortment of personalities, but most of all, they had the perseverance to get the job done and are graduating from high school today, the first step in many as they leave. Now the celebrations can begin. Best of luck to you on the many opportunities that are awaiting you. That might be college, military, employment. I'm confident you will do well and the opportunities are endless for you. Parents, family, community, and friends, thank you for joining us in this wonderful ceremony today. USD 402, Administration and Board of Education. These students of the class of 2019 have met or exceeded the requirements set forth by the Kansas State Department of Education and Unified School District 402. I recommend they be granted their Augusta High School diploma. I present to you the class of 2019.
Michael Everett Adams. Matthew Jean Albert. Blake Charles Altenhofen. Taylor Russell Ames. Callie Marie Anderson. Keaton Wayne Anderson. Amanda Marie Encrom. Griffin Ray Atchison. Madeline Danae Barkus. July Eden Bassett. Justin McHale Bates. Lindsay Marie Barr. Megan Michelle Ellen Becker. Skylar Thomas Bennett. Aiden Lee Berggren. Jacob Michael Bergkamp. Emily Elizabeth Burke. Paige Marie Blasco. Dalton Pierce Blazer. Jacqueline Ruth Vogner. Amber Marie Bratty. Cassidy Michaela Bratton. Corey Christopher Brown. Hallie Alyssa Buckingham. Richard Kelly Bueno. Lauren Lynn Burrows. Zachary Daniel Burton. Natalie Gail Cantu. Adriana Marie Carter. Wyatt T. Castleton. Karen Yvette Castillo. Isaiah Ryan Chance. Colin Dean Clark. Jandalyn Marie Coleman. Brianna Nicole Kuhn. Aiden Sean Davis. Connor Matthew Davis. Kenneth Jacob Ray Deere. Armani Rajan Dennis. Courtney Lynn Devine. Carly Ann Dodds. Cassidy Ann Drescher. Jacob James Dunworth. Andrew Dunton. Briggs Marshall Irwin. Aaron Gail Fitzpatrick. Tyler David Flory. Gabriel Paul Fox. Haley Christine Frew. Madison Nikkei Gartner. Jeffrey Nicholas Geyer. Trevor Lane Gray. Claire Elizabeth Hallmark. Matthew Darren Hanson. Rain Catherine Harmon. Zariah Marie Harrington. Lane Matthew Helmer. Andrew Mason Hess. Savannah Marie Higgins. Colin Lee Heiser. Quaylen Annie Lou Hitzman. Phoenix Anthony Hogan. Jace David Howell. Braxton Mackenzie Hubbard. Michaela Marie Hughes. Layla Mackenzie Hutchison. Braden Patrick Jurgensen. Cole Allen Johnson. Marissa Sue Johnson. Helen Grace Johnston. Mary Elizabeth Jolin. Courtney Brianna Kellogg. Dominic Merritt Ketchum. Mackenzie Marie Kirk. Gavin Michael Forrest Coker. Haley Annabelle Lucia LaPlante. Lindsay Jean Llewellyn. Charles Charles Adam Leidy. Alan James Lindner. Madison Lee Livingston. Braden James Lowe. Jacob Benjamin Madison. Jaden Lee M. Marleny. Gage Riley Mason. Hayden Payne Mason. And Shasta Page Mason. Keaton Tyler Madsen. Madeline Hope Mayfield. Gage Michael McClure. Xavier Richard McMichael. Chad Christopher Mercier. Haley Ann Michael. Tyler Dale Miller. McKaylee Deanne Mitchell. Brittany K. Moore. Caitlin Ann Moore. Cassidy D. Morris. Emily M. Ober. Callie K. One-Year. Noah Hideo Otska. Corbin Lee Parker. Bailey Nicole Pennycuff. Bo Riley Potter. Marshall Leroy Potts. Ashley Faye Prentice. Gage Orion Presnell. Abigail Lynn Rhodes. Zoe Marie Riedel. Nathaniel C. Reinhardt. Jaden Malia Robert. James Colby Roberts. Catherine Page Rockers. Alexander Cruz Rodriguez. Olivia Ann Rogers. Kylie Shield. Bryson Tyler Schmidt. Logan Blaine Shoup. Grant James Scribner. Heidi Kayleen Sywert. Zachary R. Seibert. Alexis Nicole Shaver. Gordon Scott Shaver. Jennifer Marie Sivaseth. Ashley Grace Small. Noah Isaac Stevens. Daniel Ledoux Stewart. Aubrey Louise Steuben. Roman Jose Philip Schwartz. Logan Kyler Thompson. Emma Sue Tisdale. Christopher Shane Tolman. Matthew Aaron Trito. Jake Evans Tucker. Benjamin Wade Volkman. Bryce Maxwell Watson. Catherine Elizabeth Webster. Ethan Michael Wells. Grace Ann Wheeler. Reagan Elizabeth White. Emily Jane Wilcox. Caitlin Nicole Williams. Presley Jaden Grace Williams. Sadie Williams. Matthew Mark Wright. Cade Thomas Czar.
Would you all please stand and join in the singing of our alma mater?